welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're diving into the core ideas from Alina Chamberlain's She Who Awakens. Now, this is a guide for women that looks at relationship security not as, just a matter of luck or hope, but as a genuine strategy. We're going to break down this way of thinking for building a partnership that isn't just loving, but is actually built to last through any crisis. Okay, let's just get right to the heart of it. The whole philosophy here is that infidelity is not some random lightning strike that comes out of nowhere. No. The book argues it's a symptom. It's the final thing you see after much deeper problems have been quietly growing and festering under the surface for a long, long time.
So the first big mental shift here is to stop thinking of your relationship as this passive state of happiness and start seeing it as a fortress. Now, this isn't about being paranoid or fearful, not at all. It's about being proactive. A fortress needs a solid foundation, right? It needs constant upkeep, and it definitely needs a defense plan for the challenges that you know are coming.
And listen, those challenges, those crises, they are guaranteed to come. The book is super clear about this. Crises are just a normal part of a long life together. And we're not talking about small disagreements here. We're talking about huge periods of stress, often lasting 6 months, maybe even a year, that are going to test the very foundation of your fortress. The trick isn't to avoid them, because you can't. It's to be ready for them. Okay, so what exactly happens during one of these crises that can cause the walls of your fortress to actually start to crack? Let's break down the anatomy of that vulnerability. What really goes on? Well, under all that pressure, the dynamic in the partnership can actually go backwards. You might start off as that equal adult-to-adult team you see on the left, but a crisis can easily push you into that strained parent-child dynamic on the right. For a lot of women, this means we slip into that managing, almost mothering role. And it might feel like you have to do it just to get through the crisis, but it's a real killer for desire, and it just builds up resentment on both sides.
And at the exact same time, the relationship's mean defense system gets totally depleted. The book calls this the bonding substance. And this isn't just about fun and games. A healthy, intimate life is framed here as a biological necessity. It literally creates a chemical glue that keeps both of your nervous systems stable against stress. So when that intimacy disappears, it leaves this dangerous vacuum, making your fortress incredibly vulnerable to attack.
So this brings us to the intelligence-gathering part of our mission. To defend the fortress, you have to understand the specific threats, and Chamberlain identifies 5 really key psychological triggers that can drive a man to start looking for fulfillment somewhere else. This slide is great because it breaks down that really complex why into 5 pretty clear psychological drivers. You've got the role trap, where he feels more like a utility, a dad, a provider, than an actual man. There's the classic Madonna-whore split, which is such a common trap. But look at number 2, the totally paradoxical saving the relationship. The idea that an affair becomes his source of validation just so he can stand being in a cold home life. Wow. Understanding these is absolutely key to building your defense. Okay. Understanding all these weak spots is critical, but it's only half the story. Now we've got to move from theory into practice. Let's look at the actual strategic playbook for defending your fortress and making sure you are the irreplaceable choice. All right, the first tactic is what Chamberlain calls lightness. This is all about making sure that your presence is a source of joy and relief for him, not just another item on his list of stressors. It means that when he thinks about coming home, he's pulled toward a fun, smiling partner, not a manager who's waiting with a list of complaints. You want to be his sanctuary, not his supervisor. Second, and this ties right back to that bonding substance we were just talking about, is the conscious evolution of your intimate life. I mean, just think about the huge difference between intimacy as just another chore on the to-do list versus a protected, special territory of pleasure, mystery, and play. The whole goal is to actively create the second one, to make sure that vital chemical glue is always, always being produced. And this is how you counter that Madonna-whore trigger we just saw. It's brilliant. The strategy is to bridge that psychological gap yourself. By bringing in things like role play, games, and different personas into the safety of your own bedroom, you can be both of those archetypes for him. You basically leave no psychological reason for him to go looking for them somewhere else. And finally, a really critical defensive move is managing the external environment. You have to be aware of the social pressures around him. If his friends or his colleagues are all bragging about their affairs like it's no big deal, that kind of thinking can start to seem normal. Your strategy here is to constantly but subtly reinforce the incredibly high value of what he has with you and the absolutely devastating cost of losing it. So here's the crucial point. All of these strategies, the lightness, the sexual evolution, managing the environment, they are all designed to create one profound internal shift inside of you. This right here is the ultimate goal of the whole thing.
This slide just shows the whole transformation perfectly. It's all about shifting from being the anxious controller on the left, the woman who acts out of fear, checks his phone, and ultimately just pushes him away, to becoming the sovereign woman on the right. She's described as a planet in her own right, radiant in confidence, totally focused on her own life and development, and creating a gravitational pull that makes him afraid of losing her.
And that leaves us with the final, really powerful takeaway from this whole philosophy. The ultimate strategy for infidelity-proofing your relationship isn't about controlling another person. It's about becoming so valuable, so interesting, and so sovereign in your own right that his fidelity becomes his own most logical, devoted, and frankly, obvious choice.
Discover the secrets to nurturing your lifestyle and love style at wishforlove.org.